Hey guys, what's cracking? Today I'm going to be talking about a $400,000 product case study, and I'm going to be showing you guys the product that I sold over 400,000, which like advertising platform did I use, and literally like everything in between that I feel is necessary for you to go out there and crush it in dropshipping in 2019. Alright, so I'm literally going to be showing the product, the format of the ads, the marketing angle, and everything that I think would be helpful to you. And without any further ado, let's get right into it. The $500,000 product, right? So I'm sure many of you guys probably seen this product on Facebook or Instagram or like everywhere over the internet. It's called the indestructible shoes, right? So I would say like I'm probably one of the pioneers, one of the first guys who actually started doing well with these shoes. And when we first like started testing these shoes, I knew that this was like a really like a big winner, right? So before we kind of get into the lessons, I want to show you guys some proof and some of like the numbers that so you know that this is actually legit. So I'm gonna go right into my Shopify dashboard and show it to you guys. All right, so right now we're in my Shopify dashboard, and as you can see right here, I created this store just to sell these shoes. So this is like a niche outdoor store that I created after I validated that this was a winning product on my general store, right? So as you can see right here, it's I started this store around say like around July, and then that's when I started like, oh, okay, I'm placing some test orders, and then started just like scaling things up, and then within less than I think 1 week to 1 week, we did over like 4K a day. And after the next week, bam, like 2 weeks of starting a store, I did over like 12K a day. So you can see right here the total orders is 415,745 cents, and the return is minus 13,091 dollar 0.49 cents, and the total sales is 402,000. Right. So you might be wondering where are the other $98,000 in sales coming from? It's coming from my main general store, which I tested the products on. So for my main general store, I'm pretty sure we did at least over 130,000, like somewhere around there. So it's definitely like more than six figures. And after I validated it, wow, this product could really be could really do really well. So I decided to create a new niche store and build a new niche store out of this winning product. All right. So right now we're gonna go into like some of the lessons and some of the things which I think is gonna help you guys. All right. So I'm gonna be talking about the how I started like on this product. So the indestructible shoes. Moving on to the next slide. So where did I found the indestructible shoes, alright? So I was using this Baidu called Commerce Inspector while I was doing my product research, and as usual, what I always do is I have like a bunch of websites that I kind of save it in like an Excel sheet in the past. But right now I use CommerceFeed, so I'm pretty sure like most of you probably heard what CommerceFeed is. So I have like a bunch of websites, and I kind of just like go in on these websites every single day and look at what are the products that they are testing. So one day, I found this like very interesting like shoe that this guy was testing, and I remember I saw like it was the indestructible shoes. So the first time when I saw the product, I was a little bit skeptical because I have never sold any shoes or like fashion or anything related to like those kind of like wearables, and I've never sold anything like any shoes before. So when I first look at it, I was a little bit skeptical, but then I realized that wait, this guy, there must be a reason how this guy is actually making this work. So I went to Facebook and I searched for literally I searched for the indestructible shoes, and I found that the video had over 10 million views. Alright, so that's when I look at that's when I knew that wow, this guy was actually crushing it, because the video with 10 million views was actually linking back to his website. So that's when I knew like wow, this product is it's actually possible to sell shoes on Facebook, because in the past I had a very limited perspective on e-commerce. I didn't know that fashion and I mean like shoes, it's like sellable, but they definitely are. So I went on the competitor's website and I did like a bunch of like market research in a sense, where I'm just like kind of looking at wow, how is this guy selling this product, who is he targeting, and like what the kind of video ads that he used. And I realized that his videos ads wasn't as good as it should be. So his video ads was like kind of like HD, but the production quality was just kind of low. So I knew that wow, if this guy could get his video to like 10 million views, there's I could probably make a better one and out market him. So what I did was, in my mind I was thinking like, okay, this version of indestructible shoes is probably kind of saturated, and he was actually selling this, what I think was the indestructible, like it's like a blue color indestructible shoes. So I decided to go on AliExpress to look for a similar product, and I ended up finding these shoes which I thought was cool. So this was like the main image form of supply, and I'm pretty sure many of you guys probably seen this particular image before, right? Yep. So I took the product and I launched, and I kind of put it on my store, and decided to test it. And later on I'm going to show you guys how I actually tested it. So why did I decided to test this indestructible shoes? Although this similar product, the blue indestructible shoes, has already been scaled by my competitor, which reached over 10 million views on one video. I wanted to try my luck to see if it can work, because when it comes to testing products and launching like new ads and stuff, you never really know if its product is a winner unless you actually go out there and test it and validate that it's a winning product. So the similar video ad that had been scaled up was subpar, so I knew that I could make it work if my video ad was a lot better. And at the point of time, I had a really good video editor, so I was a little bit confident that I could make a video that was better than his. However, there was a massive market for this shoe, because if you think of it logically, right, anyone who any when you're selling shoes, you're pretty much selling to the entire world. Pretty much anyone can wear like these indestructible shoes. Although it's kind of specialized just for like the labor, construction workers and stuff, but like so many people in this world, it's open to such like a massive market that you can really like scale it up like crazy. And that's like one of the pros of selling shoes, fashion and stuff. When you find like a good, really really good like winning product, you can really scale it up to like high multiple six figures or even seven figures. And I've seen like so many people done it before. And I even have some friends who did over 2 million with this indestructible shoes. So there's like a massive like market on Facebook just by marketing like these shoes. And the fourth reason why I decided to sell like these shoes, because it solves like a real world problem in the market. So like many people, they wear like their boots to work, these laborers and construction workers, and those boots are really heavy and they look kind of ugly. So with the indestructible shoes, it's like really nice and looks really trendy. And I know I kind of bought it. I got it myself. I bought it myself, and it's really like comfortable as well. And overall, I feel like it's just it kind of like revolutionized the way the construction workers look at shoes. So yeah, definitely that's one of the reasons why I decided to test it. All right. So the marketing angle that I use, all right. So this is where it gets kind of interesting, because for it to work, I realized that I definitely need a stronger marketing angle than my competitor did, because he already scaled the video up to over 10 million views. So at the point of time, I was thinking maybe it was a little bit saturated, but I wasn't quite sure. All right. So upon researching the target audience, I realized that there was a problem, which I said like in the past. Construction workers, laborers have very heavy boots; they are not comfortable. So I decided that the marketing will be able to help like laborers work more comfortably while not sacrificing stuff, because the shoe actually looks really really cool. So I marketed it as like a really like cool and trendy shoes that can be used for daily life apart from just a labor work. So I remember the first like clip of the video, I was saying something like prevent feet injuries from, what's that, like prevent feet injuries while working or something. But it was something that really hit their pain point, which was kind of like preventing feet injuries, because in indestructible shoes, there was like a really cool feature about it where there's like this steel toe boot, which I'm gonna show you guys later. All right. And then you guys will probably kind of understand like why it's so like much better. So actually I'm gonna show you guys right now. So this was the indestructible shoes that I saw. This is just one of the supply on AliExpress, and if we scroll down right here, we can see that I'm pretty sure there's a lot of supplies for it, because the shoe just went like viral like crazy. And I even recently saw this video had over like 80 million views with this like indestructible shoe. So they are selling like like crazy. So this is how the shoes like look like on the AliExpress. It looks like really cool and trendy. And the cool thing about this shoe is, um, it's like you can see that this hammer, like these nails, they they can't be broken down. So they have like a very strong base, and they have like a kind of like a steel tip like toe protection area, where even like hammer can't hurt your feet. So when you just pop 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 and it doesn't hurt your feet. At least that's what it appears to be. And then how do I test it? So I basically tested it with just Facebook ads, and I ran a budget of $6 per day. For the audience, I kind of ran 5 different separate audiences, and they were all like really broad audience. So I was testing, I remember I was testing. One was construction, two was construction worker, number three was tool, number four I think was power tool, and number five I think was DIY, which was do it yourself. So I was testing really all this broad interest, which has over like 100 million, not 100 million, but had over at least like 5 million audience size on Facebook. So all these are really like really broad interest where, and they are really scalable because they have like just a massive like audience. And for the country, I remember I think I tested worldwide and top 6. So I don't think I tested top 20, but right now that's how I'm just testing my Facebook ads, and I think I kind of forget to exclude that out. So I tested worldwide, excluding India, Africa, Vietnam, um, Bangladesh, and I think Africa. And then top 6 is basically United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and Ireland. So this is like the top 6 to me. And top 20 is kind of like basically like the top 20 GDP countries, which you can easily find it on Google. Alright. So the ad that I used was a video ad when I tested it. It was around 40 seconds, and the really cool thing about this ad was it had very like dynamic clips. So the clip lasted for about I think 3 to 4 seconds in each scene. So it's really like kind of hitting them from like different angles really quickly, so they don't get bored. Because nowadays like people, they are really addicted to very high stimulus, so we need to kind of always give like be very dynamic in the clips, because if it's too slow, people are not gonna watch it till the end. Even I find myself nowadays, if the video doesn't attract me in the first 3 to 5 seconds, I'm just not gonna watch the entire video. So the video had about 10 scenes, and it really showed like the different benefits of it. How it's gonna protect your shoes from like your car running over it, and the hammer, and then the nails, and I was showing like how this shoe can also be used for like just like wearing casually, and people were just crazy about it. The first 5 seconds of the video, I think that's what really made an impact. I mean, that's what really um kind of made everything work out. It was because I really showed the benefit of the product and the issue that it solves. So in the first 5 seconds of the video, it was like this guy just like stomping his feet um on like a bunch of nails. So it's like it was like this kind of nails, but this guy just like stomping, bam, 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 and then saying like I don't remember what it says. It was something like prevent feet injuries while something. So anyway, it really um like drew people in, because it's like such a like, wow, who would do that, right? Who would like stomp their feet on like a bunch of nails, and that really attracted a lot of attention. So, all right, going from the testing phase into the scaling. The first video that I tested was barely breaking even after like $500 of ad spend on Facebook. So the first video that I used was kind of subpar, and the video just wasn't good enough, I feel. And I remember I was getting like $80 to $100 CPB, cost per purchase. By that point, I had a feeling that this product might still work, because although I was getting really high like cost per purchase, I remember that I was getting actually, I think, organic sales as well. So I was like, wow, on Facebook, I think it recorded about like 5 or 6 sales, but I was actually getting like 8 or 9 sales in my Shopify platform. And I knew that this product would work even more better if I gave it like if I use a better creative, because at the point of time, the first 5 seconds of my first video just wasn't eye-catching enough. It didn't show like the guy just like bam 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 bam. It just showed like the shoes, and it didn't really show any like wow effect of the shoe. So I want you guys to remember this, when you're testing new products, especially with video ads on Facebook or on any like platform, you want to always remember to show the wow effect of the product in the first and second scene. So it has to capture the attention of the audience before they scroll their newsfeed. if the first scene of the video captures their attention, then they're pretty much gonna watch like the entire video already. So the first scene is always the most important when it comes to marketing with video ads. So however, I had a feeling that this product might work, so I invested in a second creative coming from a different angle with a much better video production quality. And honestly, it was just like a better video editor, And right now, he's just like really making like very beautiful videos for us. And the second video ended up going bonkers because we were getting around, I remember, like $15 to $20 cost per purchase at 4 to 5 times ROAS within the first week of testing. And that's when I knew, like, wow, this product, is gonna be my biggest winner so far. Because I never had a winner that did like so much in revenue. So that's when I knew this was it. So how do I scale it? We scaled really, really fast when you realize that it's a winning product. And we ended up building a new niche store after doing over 100,000 on my general store. So there are like two main ways I scale this product. So the first one is vertical scaling. So I basically duplicate and double the budget every day on all day like working auto bid ad sets. So I remember when I first tested it with $6 per day, I duplicated it into $15 per day. Although I said double the budget, but sometimes I go from 6 to 15 to 30 or even 50, and then to 100, and then to 200, and then just double every single day. So I duplicated and doubled the budget every day on working auto-bid assets, and I didn't touch any working assets. So I was just duplicating those working assets and doubling the budget. So if the ad set had a $50 budget, I would duplicate it into a new ad set at $100 per day, and I wouldn't touch the existing one. I would just let it run because I find that touching and increasing the budget of those working assets had never really worked well for me. So I just always like to duplicate, and it seemed to always work. And I don't really find that there was any like audience overlap or anything like that. So especially when you have such a big audience as for like the when it comes to selling the indestructible shoes, I don't think that is gonna be an issue because there's just like so many people who is compatible, who Facebook is gonna be targeting for you, so it doesn't really matter that much. And then after that, when I while I was duplicating the working auto bid assets on the side, I was also duplicating the the profitable campaigns to campaign budget optimization at around like $1,000 per day, and that was like kind of like the big where I went. So on those like really working campaigns, I was segmenting into different campaigns. So there's gonna be like one campaign that is only targeting worldwide and is doing interest, and then another campaign might be doing worldwide as well, but running it on lookalike audiences at purchase. So I'm just gonna duplicate like all those working campaigns at like $1,000 per day, and I noticed that it worked like well for quite a number of time. I remember exactly the details because this shoes has been I sold it during the past I think like I sold it from like August to um what was it, August to October, so it was kind of like a long time ago. So apart from doing this auto bid scaling, I didn't really mention it, but I also did a manual bids as well. So for those like working auto bid ad sets, I would duplicate it into like a new manual bid campaign. And I believe I was doing around $500 per day budget or $1,000 per day in manual bid ad sets. So for these manual bid ad sets, I only use the best of the best performing audiences. So I remember at the point of time I was testing around like 20 different audiences, and almost all of them are working. So around 90% of them are working, but they are like around. But out of the 90% of the different interests that are working, there were around maybe 10% of them which were actually outliers. So out of the 20 audiences, there could be like 18 working audience, but maybe only like 2 or 3 of them were working really, really, really well at like like crazy ROAS, like 6-7 ROAS or something. And I duplicated those into like a new manual bid ad set at I think $1,000 per day, and I kind of ran it at um twice the cost per purchase, and I set it at a low cost with a bid cap. So it was the it was around like I can't really remember, but I think it was around like 45 or 48 dollar bid cap because I was getting like $15-$20 in cost per sale, and I wasn't afraid to like kind of just let it like spend on because I knew that this was a winner. So I wasn't afraid to really like increase my bid and let Facebook just spend the entire budget because I know that it was still bring me like lots of sales and revenue and profits. So the second type of scaling that we did, which is of course horizontal scaling, which is just testing more interest that I think might work. And this is something that you really want to do when you find like a potential winning product. You want to test as many different audiences as possible, because chances are you're gonna find at least like 2 to 3 outliers out of all these different audiences that you test, and those 2 to 3 outliers might get you super crazy high ROAS, which you will then use it to duplicate and scale it even more and use the data that you get to create like lookalike audiences, which was what I did, and that's what like every like professional dropshipper does. So I built like lookalike audiences starting from 95% video viewers after I had around 30,000 video views on my um, video ad. And after that, I ran it. I ran it from 1% all the way to 10%. So it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way like that. And then what's the view content afterwards. After I had around, I think like 10,000 view contents and 100,000 video views, that's when I created the view content lookalike audiences, and then it still worked really well. And I created the page view lookalikes, and add to cart, initial checkout, purchase. And then I also tested something which was a little bit interesting, and this is not like I'm sure that this isn't like very common, which is testing the top 5% and top 10% and top 25% time spent on your website. So if you go inside Facebook, you'll be able to see a column that says when you create like a lookalike audiences, you can see something that says like that time spent by visitor or something, and there's like top 5, top 10, and top 25, and you can input like the link of your website into it, and you can create, yeah, basically like telling Facebook that you want to find the audiences which spend the most amount of time, the top 5% of the people who visited your website the top 5% of the people who visited the product page. So basically telling Facebook that you want them to find the top 5% of the people who spend the most time on your website. All right. And this worked really really well for me, and I do this for all my winning products, and they so far they have just been really like kind of crushing it on the top 5, top 10, and top 25%. And the next thing that I did which was a little bit interesting, was remember when I said I built a new niche store. I decided to test more similar indestructible shoes with different designs as well, because in fact I'm going to show you guys right now on AliExpress. You will see like what I mean. You see like right here there's like so many different designs, and there was this one, and then there's this one, and then there's this one as well. And then if you scroll down, you see that there's just so many different designs of these indestructible shoes, and it's pretty crazy. And there's like this one. I didn't I didn't sell this design, but this design looked kind of decent. And see, you can see like right here, like this seller is just selling like so many different versions of the indestructible shoes, and I was selling this design. Yeah, I was selling like these versions of the indestructible shoes. And if you scroll down, I remember I was selling this one as well. I sold this one as well. So I sold like so many different versions of the indestructible shoes. And we had to create like different video ads based off the shoes. So when it comes to retargeting, I separated into a few like different segments. The first one, which was 3 days add to cart, so people who added to cart in the past 3 days but didn't purchase. 5 days add to cart, 7 days view content, 95% video viewers. And it's only like 5 different segments, because I like to really keep things very simple when it comes to retargeting. Although I feel like I should be doing like more. I should explore more into like building more like a better like retargeting like strategy. But for me, I really like to keep things very simple. So I use an image ad, because I find that after testing like a slideshow, carousel, and like the slideshow and carousel and image, I find that image ad work the best among all of them. And I also use like DPA remarketing as well as the retargeting that I was running. So on my general store and my niche store, when I was selling the indestructible shoes, I had the dynamic product ads that was running as well. So apart from the manually created retargeting ads, I had this like DPA remarketing ads that were crushing as well. So some of the apps that we use is Klaviyo for email marketing, and then I also use Short Message for abandoned cart messenger. So when you go to like some of the like popular dropshipping websites, you'll see like this this checkbox under the add to cart button that says, do you want to send all the updates to your messenger or something. And this one is really, really powerful because I remember that it was doing around like 5 to 7% of our total revenue. So it was pretty crazy considering that it's just like a simple web, and we did a lot of revenue just from this simple web. And then I also use Klaviyo for email marketing. So Klaviyo is definitely like a must if you're doing like any kind of ecom, because Klaviyo just helps you Klaviyo just help you with like the back end and makes things so much more simpler. And then I was using Shopify to fulfill orders, although I should have been using like CSV at the point of time, but then I didn't really know how they work and I was kind of lazy. But right now, we are using CSV. And then I use Looks for photo reviews, just in case you guys are wondering what kind of review app you want to use. I use Looks for photo reviews. And while I was scaling it, although the numbers seem really nice, but actually like many things went wrong during the whole process. So the first one, which I really want to talk about, is the payment processor reserves. So we are using Stripe and PayPal on our store, and when we started scaling hard on our second store, we created a new PayPal account for it, and PayPal were just like crushing us because I remember they just suddenly put like they put like a limitation on our account, and then we couldn't process any orders on our second new niche store. So what we had to do was we had to contact PayPal with like the information and the tracking numbers of which they requested for many like documentations and stuff, so we had to send it all to them. So when you're scaling, you always want to be prepared with your supplier invoice, and you want to kind of like keep in touch with your supplier when you're scaling, because when people ask you for this kind of documentations, if you're not keeping in touch with your supplier, it might be very, very hard for you to get over this obstacle. So you want to keep in kind of like close proximity, not close proximity, but you want to build a good relationship with your supplier while you're scaling. So the second thing that went wrong while scaling was we had a supplier. We had some like supply issues where he sent the wrong size, and the delivery was really, really slow because it took like really long to prepare the shipment. So some because of the nature of the shoes, the China and the US sizing is a little bit different, and we were selling mostly in the US market. So I remember if you're selling like a size 13 in US, for example, I don't really know how that works, but my supplier would kind of assume that it's like size 12 or something like that. It's always like almost half size or one size down as compared to the actual US size that the customer was requesting. So you want to be very, very careful with it and make sure that the size that he's sending out, if you're selling shoes, is actually the same as the size that the customer received. So the delivery was very slow because he took like 2 weeks, or even I don't know, 2 to 3 weeks to prepare all the orders. And at the time, the customers were just like so mad, and we had to deal with like a lot of like customers that just wasn't like satisfied. And our supplier also missed out on over 250 orders, which resulted in so many disputes and so many like chargebacks in our Stripe and our PayPal, and that really like caused a lot of problems with like our payment processors as well. So making sure that your supplier is actually like shipping on all the orders is like really important as well. And then the fourth thing which kind of went wrong was I didn't have a proper like customer support team. So the email support was very inconsistent because at the point of time on my new niche store, it was kind of a new one, and I scaled it up a little bit too fast, to be honest. The email support was very, very inconsistent because there was only like one lady working, and she's handling like all the customers, and she wasn't working. I didn't give her like a proper SOP to follow. She didn't work at a consistent amount. She didn't work consistently every single day. Some days she wouldn't work and some days she would work. So this really kind of messed things up as well. And at the point of time, I wasn't really careful, and I didn't really notice what was going on. All I did notice was the Facebook ads numbers, and I was just like scaling without realizing that some of like our email support, the email support member on our second niche store wasn't actually doing what she was supposed to do. So how did I deal with the overall mess? I connected my team member with my supplier to deal with the tracking number and size issues, etc. So one of my team members would just talk to my supplier every day, and on all those like missed out orders, on like all these PayPal disputes and all this like stuff, and we'll get like proper tracking numbers from them, and I'll ask my supplier to send like a free replacement for those that wasn't shipped out, and for those that um was like like the wrong sizing, right? My supplier will send like a free replacement, and I offered a factory price replacement to customers who got the wrong size as well. So some customers that got the wrong size and who want like a new one, or who's angry, whatever, offer them like a factory. I created like a new listing in my Shopify dashboard which says that replacement for indestructible shoes, blah blah, and at the factory price, which was $25. So we wasn't gonna lose any money, nor are we gonna make any money. And this was to customers who got the wrong size, or customers who customers who got the wrong size, I think. So I dealt with customers' objection and refunded customers with our profits as the last option, because we were getting like a lot of inquiries from our customers. So we always want to kind of like deal with the objection first, because like refund is the most damaging. I mean, giving a refund as compared to kind of like giving them a free replacement. Giving them a free replacement is always like a much better option, because overall you're just gonna be able to like save more profit. So we always want to kind of give them, always like handle their objection and only refund customers as our last option, if they're really really mad, or if they feel like they want a refund and they don't want a replacement, and then we'll just like give them a refund, if they really want it. But we always try to like, oh, do you want like a replacement first? If they don't want a replacement, then okay, then we take to give you a refund. And then we ask supplier for a refund on shoes that wasn't delivered and disputed. So for those shoes that wasn't delivered, I had to, remember when I said like connected my team member with my supplier, that's what they did. And apart from asking him to give like a free replacement as well, I also asked him to give a refund for the shoes that wasn't delivered, and for those customers that wanted a refund. So I wouldn't have I won't have such a big loss, because I already paid for all the shoes, but then my customers didn't receive it, and my customers want a refund. So right now, after I refund my customers, I'm left with this like $25, which I paid for the shoes for. It's just like kind of like hanging right there. So of course, I want a refund for my for the shoes that wasn't shipped out, right? So for this to work out, you always want to make sure that you're always keeping in touch with a main supplier that you're working with. So for us, we have like one main sourcing agent that we use for our winning products, and that's what you ideally want to do, so that for any like products which are so for any customers which didn't receive like different for customers which didn't receive product A, and the next customer which didn't receive product B, at least you know that all of these products are from the same supplier, so it's not such a mess to deal with like different suppliers at the same time. So finding one sourcing agent, a reliable one hopefully, it's really really critical to your success in dropshipping. So what I learned from this experience, so right now, I just learned to be overall much smarter when I'm scaling. I don't want to just scale too fast. I want to make sure the product quality is good. I want to make sure that my supplier can handle the volume. I want to make sure that my customers are actually having a good experience when they're shopping on my website. I want to make sure, and it's very important that you want to know that your supplier is actually like a solid one, and he can actually handle the volume, and it's not like a kind of like a newbie one. And the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move to like a US fulfillment center when I find a product that I plan on pushing like high multiple 6 figures and 7 figures. And these are products like the indestructible shoes. I have friends who sold like multiple 7 figures with it. And not just one. I have like a few friends who I believe who did over multiple 7 figures with the indestructible shoes. Then I want to make sure that the sizes which the customers ordered are actually in alignment with what the supplier actually offers, because I don't want to sell something which is just like some customer like choose like size 11, and I give my supplier ship them like size 9 or something. So I'll make sure that like this is actually the sizes are actually congruent if I'm selling shoes in the future. And I won't be afraid to invest more in better creatives to scale faster when I know that the product I'm testing is a really really big winner. So one of the mistake that I did, which I didn't really talk about, is actually not testing and not investing in more different ad creatives. So I had a friend who was selling indestructible shoes as well, and we literally started selling the indestructible shoes around the same time. but because he had a better creative, he invested in a video production company. He was able, I think he spent about like 1,000 on the video or something, and he created like a much better video overall. And with this video that he created, he did like over 2 million with the shoes, and I only did 500,000, although I could have done like much more. But because I didn't make like better creatives, I stuck in my old one. So that was one of the mistakes which I did. And then the next thing which I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run Google remarketing ads to extend the margins. So this is something that's really interesting to me, because with Google ads and Google ads in general, what I find is you are able to get a really high ROAS, although most of your revenue won't be coming from Google. But this is just like a nice way to extend your margins, and who wouldn't want to make like extra money? So that's pretty much it from this video, I think. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much it from this presentation. I hope you guys kind of like it. So if you guys got any questions or any like idea, like what's going on or whatever, I mean any like inquiries, any questions, just leave it in the comments below. I'll be happy to help you guys out. And don't forget to leave a like, if you enjoyed watching this video. This was kind of lengthy to make. And make sure to subscribe if you haven't. And if you are interested in learning about dropshipping, mindset, personal development, spirituality, make sure to subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.